Hey, welcome to another episode of the Delayed Gratification Podcast, where we talk about building wealth with some amazing people, where we're being inspired, where they're telling us exactly how they built wealth, took time to build wealth. Again, today is no other than an amazing young man that I've watched over the years, past few years, build tremendous wealth, but he's worked hard as crazy, hard as, I almost said something, but he's worked really hard. So I want to go ahead and introduce, what's up, Chris?
What's going on,
You
Ramon?
doing all right, man?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you for being on, man.
I appreciate you.
Can you tell us who you are and what you do?
Yeah, for sure. Well, my name is Chris Mills. I'm from Tampa, Florida, and I do real estate wholesaling. I also specialize in what's called short sales. I don't know if a lot of people heard of it. And also, I'm a realtor in the state of Florida.
Man, I'm looking forward to this conversation. So, this is my topic, but I'm learning from you. I watch you, I'm learning, and I know a lot of other people are going to be learning from you. So as they watch this episode, man, we're going to have to start from the beginning, though, because you didn't just jump out. Now, you've been around a while. I know a lot of people are just learning about you, but you've been working for a minute. You've been grinding for a minute. So how did you get to where you are now?
You gonna start at the beginning?
I want the beginning. I want out of high school. I want high school. Like what?
Out of high school.
I mean, I want it all.
Okay, bet, man. Well, like I said, I'm from Tampa, Florida, and baseball was my first love. From the time I was 5 and 6 years old, we played baseball year round. All my little brothers and everything, all the way through high school. But in 2005, my mom, she traveled on the road. She went on the road with my stepdad when I was like 6 years old, and I didn't want to choose who I was gonna be with, my dad or my mom. They both went their separate ways. So I said, look, I'm gonna stay with grandma. I'm gonna keep it neutral. So I stayed with grandma.
You hurt both people feelings.
Yeah, well, not really. I kind of savored their feelings if you think about it. I didn't pick and say, look, Dad, I ain't rocking with you. I'm picking mom, or vice versa. I say, look, I'm gonna stay neutral. I'm staying with grandma. When I want to visit mom, I could visit mom. When I want to visit dad, I could visit dad. But yeah, man, my grandma, she carried the torch, man. Her and my grandpops. We stayed in a neighborhood in Tampa called it's called Cross Fletcher. They call it Suitcase City. I never really understood why they call it. I
was gonna ask you, why do they call it Suitcase City?
I never understood why they call it Suitcase City. But I know once I stepped out of my complex, like, man, it's just drugs, fights, and just a lot of bad things are going around there. The common story that everybody got.
Did your when I know you said you and your siblings, how many siblings do you have?
My dad has 2, and my mom has 1. So I got 2 brothers, 3. I got like three siblings.
Were you the only one that went to grandma's house?
I was the only one that went to grandma's house. My dad had got with my stepmom. Had my brother Corey. She already had a son. His name was Malik. He took him in. My dad, he take care of people's kids. He take care.
Good
he
dude.
handled the house. Yeah, he good dude. He handled the household. Okay. And then my mom, she remarried. My dad didn't remarry. He just had a girlfriend. But my mom, she actually remarried, and she had my brother Safari. So I got those.
So you at grandmama's house?
Yeah, I'm at grandma's house. She didn't really let me go outside of the complex because she knew what was outside. Yeah. So I just focused on baseball. So all the way through high school, all the way through my elementary, middle school, I focused on baseball. Now, my mom, she decided that she was going to get off the road in 2005. Mm-hmm. So going into 9th grade, I wanted to live with her because I never really remembered living with my mom. So I was like, Mom, I want to live with you, and settle down. So they settled down in Charlotte, North Carolina. Okay. And, I just kind of started over. And I'm like, let me go out here and kind of reinvent myself, because I was known as Chris Mills in Tampa. I changed my name to CJ. When I went to Charlotte, I was CJ. So I played baseball up there, and I stayed there 9th, 10th, 11th grade. 2008 happened. And they had a house that now I know they was lease optioning it. I didn't really know, too much about it then. But now I know they was lease optioning it, and they couldn't afford the payments no more. The seller basically was, going under foreclosure. So they had to go back on the road. And I had to make a decision to if I was going to move back to Tampa with grandma or if I was going to stay in Charlotte. I had a friend in the neighborhood. We played on the same football team. His mom was real cool. I used to stay at their house all the time. She actually let me stay with her my 11th grade year to finish out the season with baseball. And then 12th grade, I was so homesick. I didn't have no family in Charlotte. So I was so homesick. I said, I'm going to come back home 12th grade. And I came back home 12th grade, got a job at the mall. At 17 years old, my dad told me too, Ramon. He said, look, don't get that job, boy. He said, stay playing that baseball. He said, when you get that job, you're not gonna be able to leave that job. That job gonna have a hold on you. You know what I mean? So from that time, 17, I was working at the mall, selling shoes, Jordans, everything like that. And I was at that job for 6 years, bro.
Wow.
I was at that job 6 years, and
So he was right when you look back.
and it's crazy because as it was happening, I didn't notice it.
Yeah.
You know, because getting money in high school, have a job. A lot of kids ain't had jobs in high school. They was playing sports or just going home after school, doing their homework or whatever, just hanging out. I would come to school with some fresh shoes, fresh kicks. I thought it was cool. I had a job. I felt like the man.
Yeah.
But after high school was over and I still had the job, 6 years, I was still staying with my grandma all the way to 24 years old. I'm like, bro, this ain't me. Like, I'm smarter than this. I'm better than this. And like, I know that I got more to offer to the world than just being an assistant manager at Jimmy Jazz. You get what I'm saying? So my mom showed me this YouTube interview, this guy named Phil. And I was working at Jimmy Jazz, and I started watching the videos, and he was talking about wholesaling real estate. And he was talking about how you can lock up a property under contract and you don't need no cash.
So mom introduced you to this video.
My mom introduced me to the first video. Yep. And they was talking about wholesaling and how you can assign contracts and make $5,000-$10,000, and you don't have to have a real estate license. You don't need money. You don't need experience. You don't need cash. So I'm just like, that's me. I ain't got no cash. I ain't got no license. Like, I could do this. So, I just went on the whim and was trying stuff. It really wasn't working. I said, man, Tampa trash. I said, man, I need to get out of here. I'm thankful because I got my friends. We going to the club every night. I'm hanging out after work, smoking, doing all this stuff, and hanging out and hanging with the wrong cats. And I'm like, bro, I got to get out this environment. So I got an auntie that live in Atlanta, in College Park. She worked for the CDC.
Okay.
She been working for him like 30 years. And I said, auntie, can I get a reset, a recharge? Let me come out there with you.
What year was this?
This was 2014.
Okay. So this about 9 years ago now.
Ooh, really?
2023. The time rolling.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Dang, yeah, 2014, bro.
Yeah.
So 2014, I came out here and I was working at Jimmy Jazz. They let me do a transfer.
Okay.
So I was able to keep my
Which
job.
one you were working at?
The one in Cumberland Mall.
Okay.
So I was working over there. The DM, she was a black lady. She liked me. She thought I was cool. Thought I could bring something to the table. So I was working out there, and man, I had a nervous breakdown at work one day. I was in the back stocking the shoes and everything. And I used to call my mom on break like every day. Yeah. And it was just getting to me, bro. It was getting to me.
So when you say you had a nervous breakdown, what happened?
Like, I just felt like I was too smart and too good to keep working at these stores, And then the more I watched the real estate videos, the more it like pissed me off. Like, man, I need to be doing this. Why I keep going to the mall and working 9 to 9, 9 to 10. Not 9 to 10, like, I'm talking 9 to 10, the other 10.
Yeah.
12 hours, yeah. So I'm breaking down that work, and I just went crazy, bro. One day I came into work, and it just was boiling. And the DM was visiting the store that day. Crazy.
Wow, there was a lot of pressure on you.
District manager was visiting the store that day. Yeah, a lot of pressure. Man, I went and I knocked all the shoes off the racks. I tore up the whole back stock room, just going crazy.
Oh, wow.
Came out there. I took my lanyard off. I told that lady, man, I got to go. I can't be here no more. She like, you sure you're making the biggest mistake of your life, young man? I promise you. She said, you can. I look the other way. If you change your mind, come talk to me. Right, but, you got to come to me right now. I said, man, I quit this. I'm out. So I left. Went back to my auntie house. She didn't know I quit. Yeah. So I'm just acting like I'm going to work every day.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm acting like I'm going to work every day, and I signed up for a real estate class out here to try to get my license. Little did I know nothing about Atlanta. I know nothing about Atlanta.
How long were you here before you decided to quit the job?
I was only here 3 months.
3 months, okay.
I was only here 3. It didn't last long at all. I was here 3 months, and I was going to work, and then I was going to the real estate school in Sandy Springs, Atlanta border realtors or something like that. And I'm going to class, and they talking about different areas of Atlanta, and everybody in the class know what the teacher talking about except me. So I got real, I got low again. So I'm like, man, there's no way I can pass this real estate test. I know nothing about Atlanta. Even if I do pass the real estate test, how am I gonna
build your business?
Yeah, when I don't know the area. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna go back home. I said, I'm gonna go back home and go back to grandma's house. So I didn't tell my auntie. I just got up in the middle of the night, drove back home, showed up at my grandma's house at 4 a.m. in the morning, knocked on the door. I said, I'm back.
Grandma let you back in.
She said, come on, baby, go upstairs and lay down. I went upstairs, laid down, man, got back to work. And I was looking on the internet and I found this guy. It's okay to name drop on here?
Hey, man. This is real. This is the truth.
All right. So I found this guy's name was Jay Morrison.
Okay.
Right, in 2014. And he had this academy called the JMA Academy. And I saw a video. This when World Star Hip Hop was like, first thing I got on in the morning was World Star Hip Hop. It was like, urban news. So I got on World Star Hip Hop. I saw a video with him and Young Jeezy. Now, Young Jeezy, my mans. I love me some Jeezy coming up. We
he a bad boy now.
2000 boys.
Yeah.
So I saw Jeezy on there hyping up Jay. And so boom, I joined Jay Academy. It was only like $90 a month, and he was talking about wholesaling. Now at that time I only seen, I haven't seen nobody my color really in real estate talking about wholesaling. So when I saw him and I joined the academy, it made it feel a little more real to me. Cause like, okay, y'all doing real estate, but y'all is y'all. You get what I'm saying?
Correct.
I'm me. I see another brother who looked like me doing it. I say, okay.
You got inspired a little bit.
I got more inspired. I say, maybe I can do this. So I was working with in the JMA Academy. I didn't close a deal. I was trying to do it on my own and everything. This virtual stuff is kind of tough for me. Yeah. I didn't really learn like that. But Jay was talking good stuff. He was talking about how you move into a duplex, you live in one side, you rent out the other side, and then when you want to go to your single family, you rent your unit out. Now you got your 2 rentals, got your single family, you want to move. He was talking good stuff. FHA loans, he was giving the plays. So I started looking locally for a real estate guru.
In Tampa. Y'all got one of the biggest ones.
We got a couple of the biggest ones. Yeah. Right? We got a couple of good guys. We got a guy named Kenny Russian. Yeah, we got Lee Kearney. Guy named Eddie Sorales.
Okay.
So Sorales was the one that I found. So I found Sorales. Sorales he didn't really know about charging for mentorship. He was just in real estate 30 years. He had over 100 doors. And he had his real estate brokerage, mortgage brokerage, and a construction company all in one building.
Okay. So
he had basically called it the one-stop shop. He had access to hard money. So he was talking the same stuff Jay was talking. I went to a free seminar. And man, I went to that seminar, bro, and that was it. That was it. I said, man, it's a man in my city talking the same stuff I've been learning for. Because now this time it's 2015. It's been a year since I've been.
And with Jay.
Yeah, and with Jay, and that I've been looking at YouTube and learning about all these different cats, So I was like, let me get in with this Sorales dude. He's in Tampa. So I started going to his office, like outside of his seminars, because he had a open door policy. Wow. He say, yo, you come in.
Is he still around?
Yeah.
Okay.
He say, I don't charge you for knowledge, but what I do charge you is to bring me clients and customers. He said, if I show you how to set up an appointment and bring a client and bring a customer, then you can learn real estate. He was like Mr. Miyagi, wax on, wax off. He like, you're going to paint my fence. You're going to wash my cars. You're going to do this. You're going to answer the phones. So I was like, okay, whatever. I'm in real estate. As long as I'm in real estate. So I used to go to his office every day, man. And I'm like, man, I got this multi-millionaire guy. I can learn this real estate game from. I got to think, I'm not the only person going in there. A lot of students going in there, but they wouldn't do the Danielson.
Yeah, they wouldn't wax on, wax off.
They don't want to do that. They want to just get to the money. They want to flip a house, fix a house. They want to do what they see on TV. So I know this show called Delayed Gratification. So I think that's what was going on at that time in my life for me was I just wanted to be in the environment. So I told my grandma, I said, look, man, we got this real estate guy. His name Eddie Sorales. He teaching me this real estate game. Let me show you something. Well, she said, boy, go ahead with that stuff. Boy, go ahead with that stuff. So my grandpa went on a trip, right? And he was supposed to come back the next day. He went to Eufaula, Alabama. And he didn't come back, bro. He passed away at the family house in Eufaula.
Sorry to hear
that.
Yeah,
it was kind of like sudden, right? And so I didn't know that he refinanced the house in 2008, like right before the market crash. So he was paying the bills. My grandma, she never seen a bill in her life. He take it upstairs, stamp them. So I start checking the mailbox after my grandpa passed away. I start seeing some pre-foreclosure notices, and this guy Sorrellis, he was a short sale expert. He was he was the man when it came to short sales. He knew how to beat up the bank.
What's a short sale?
A short sale is basically when somebody has a mortgage and a lot of people fell victim to being what's called upside down or what's called underwater. We call it underwater.
Okay.
And that's when you owe more on the house than the house is actually worth. And so during like the 09, 10, 11, 12, a lot of these short sales started happening. There was no such thing as short sale before 10, 11, 12. There was
Wasn't a lot of them.
Yeah, it really wasn't heard of like that. So when every other house, or let's say every third house was upside down,
correct.
The only cure or thing that you could do was a short sale to help that homeowner. Everybody was getting foreclosed on. So my mentor, he's crazy, bro. He was offering the bank. 06 was crazy. 05, 06, the market.
Yeah, because it's buying like crazy.
Everybody buying like crazy. They were doing those no doc loans and everything like that. So
adjustable rates.
Right, adjustable rates.
Yeah.
So, my mentor, he had the mortgage company, so he was doing those loans. You get what I'm saying? He's doing the bad loans. So then when everything crashed and everything happened, it happened to him too, because it was his properties, right? Not just his clients. So he calling the bank on his properties, asking them if they'll take pennies on the dollar. He don't know it's called a short sale. He just asking if they'll take 10 grand, 20 grand.
So
like
some you owe 100,000, you offer them, say, hey, I'm gonna pay it. I can buy it from you for 25,000.
Exactly, but he wasn't doing 25,000. He was going as low as possible. Because it was free to him to ask.
Correct.
He's like, I could ask you for if you would take 5,000. They wouldn't take 5, but then they'll send him an approval for 10. Or they'll send him an approval for 15, approval for 20. He was getting properties under 30,000 like nothing.
In Tampa.
You get
no more of that around there.
Nah, never. Right? There's 12, 13. So I came in at 15, 16. So he was still doing it. So when my grandpa passed away and I noticed that we was in pre-foreclosure, I said, man, this divine intervention, this coming full circle. I said, God put me in here because I'm in trouble. I didn't even know I was in trouble. We living in the house. We just went upside down, and now we 10 months behind on the mortgage payment. So I didn't know that. Until I started seeing the notices. So I told my grandma, I say, yo, we 10 months behind on the mortgage payment? She like, yeah, that ain't none of your business. This, and that.
It's the old school.
I'm like, Grandma, like, I've been going to these classes. I've been learning from this dude the past 3 months, 90 days, and he do what's called a short sale. Like, he could help us. Nah, man can't help us. Whoop, whoop, whoop. So Grandma started getting sick. It ain't too long after the husband passed that, So she went into hospice, and my uncle and my dad is their only kids. My dad, he more of a handyman. My uncle, he's more like, the leader of the family type. So I came to my uncle and I told my uncle, I say, look, man, I've been learning this real estate stuff. We owe 100,000 on this house. Our house only worth like 50,000. We in the hood. Our house only worth like 50 to 70,000, maybe 70, right? But we 30 grand upside down. I said, put the house in my name. Quit claim the house into my name and let me take care of it. He said, you sure? You can't get no foreclosure on your name. You finna put your name on a house that's in pre-foreclosure.
He was trying to look out for you.
He like, that don't even make sense. Why would you, you 25, 24 years old, why would you do that to your credit? I say, I got this. Don't worry about it. I have faith. You know what I mean? So he quit claimed it. He had power of attorney. He quit claimed it in my name, not a house in my name. I go to my mentor and I say, man, what we do now?
Got you a deal.
I say, I got a deal. I say, we owe 100. It's worth 70. What we gonna do? He say, man, perfect. He said, write up this. He showed me how to do it with a short sale packet. He showed me how to make the offer. He showed me how to talk to the bank. He showed me how to do a construction report. He showed me basically the step-by-step process to how he was getting properties for pennies on the dollar in a market that was actually starting to grow. 2016, things was actually like
going back up.
Yeah, it was turning around.
Yep.
So for a short sale to work at that time is actually it's amazing, bro. We create an equity that's unheard of. So I was like, well, what we gonna do with mine? He said, offer the bank $30,000. I said, I don't think you heard me. We owe the bank $100,000. We 10 months behind. They not gonna accept $30,000. He said, you the expert, am I the expert? I said, okay, 30 years, you the expert. Let's see what happens.
What you calling him?
Okay, expert. You know what I mean? 30 years, So make a long story short, we put in the offer. The bank didn't accept 30, but they came back and sent an approval for $40,000. He loaned me the money. We was able to save the house. He loaned me the hard money. My payment was like $400 a month. My neighbor, she paid rent to her landlord like $900 to $1,000 a month. So I was thinking maybe I could move out of this house when my grandma passed away and go and stay in the building with my mentor if I ask him. So I asked him. He said, man, of course. He said, matter of fact, you can stay in an apartment for free. He said, but when you come down here and work, I'm not going to pay you because if I pay you, I'm crippling you. And I said, man, I'm going to work for no pay. He said, man, you got a free apartment.
That's pay.
He's like, I'm going to show you how to make money out here in the streets, the legal way. So basically, man, that's how I started. Is I found this mentor. I was going through a situation myself to where I really had to trust him with my family home. Man, I caught the bus out there, elementary school. This my family home.
You still got it?
No, we had to sell it. When I got the short sale and I got it for 40, somebody came and offered me like 75, 80,000 for it, and I really let it go.
Oh, you got the difference though.
Yeah, I got a difference.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So your first deal, you did pretty good.
My first deal, I did pretty good, man. On my family home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you're doing short sales. You in the street with what's his name, Eddie?
Eddie Sorrellis. Yep.
He still your mentor?
I still holler at him.
Still talk to him? Still take him a bag of chips or something?
I still go and holler at him.
I figured that.
Yep.
I figured that.
I love that man. Yeah.
So what happens now? You're starting to work with him every day. Did you go get in the apartment for free and work for free?
Yeah. So I stayed in that apartment for 4 years. Right. He said, Chris, man, a lot of people give Georgia Tech, Georgia Southern, USF, University of Miami. They give them 4 years, and then they come out and they grown. You know, you and you. He said, give me 4 years, man. He said, give me 4 years with you.
Of no pay?
Of no pay. Of no, salary.
But you make money when you do a deal.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I'm good now.
He just wouldn't pay me, as a hourly employee.
I feel him.
He said that would cripple me. But that's all I knew. Look, I show up for work, and you got to pay me. You're like, nah, it don't work like that. So he used to just give me $200 a week just to pay my bills. My little car note, cell phone bill, whatever. But other than that, bro, unless I closed the deal, I wasn't getting paid. But he had a nice little system. He said, if you find it, I'll help you close it. We split the profit 50-50.
Fair.
So I said, man, that's fair. So I needed to learn quickly how to go out here and produce money from the streets. Now, I noticed a lot of students that came through the doors like me. I said, I'm not the only one in here. They would leave. They would leave because they didn't believe in not getting paid for the work that they was putting in. So
it's hard though now.
It is, bro. It was a big sacrifice. Yeah. It was a big sacrifice, especially not knowing. But once I did my first deal and I did the second deal and the third one, I was like, oh, I got this.
And you believed in him.
I said, I don't need you to pay me, bro. I'll take the little $200 a week, but now I'm closing deals for real. Now I'm closing deals for real. So I stayed with him for 4 years, closing deals with him. Man, I made my first $50,000 with this man. I was really
on one deal.
No, not on one
deal.
You
said, okay.
Like in a month, I made 50,000 doing 5,000 here, 10,000 deal here, 10,000. Just keeping the pipeline full. That's what I was taught. I was taught, man, if you keep your pipeline full, then you will always be closing. ABC, always be closing. So I was taught to keep the pipeline full. Now, what happened in 2018, I was doing real good. I was coming up I was coming up with them. I was doing real good, and I stopped knocking on doors.
Or you got comfortable.
I had a nice pipeline of like 6-7 deals.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, man, I'm good. So I stopped knocking on doors. Yeah, I got comfortable. Got comfortable, bro. Stopped knocking on doors. I stopped cold calling. Stopped passing out. Been like everything that got me where I was, I stopped doing it. You know, in 2018, right in the beginning of it, yo, I looked at my account and I was negative.
Wow.
Negative on everything. I had just bought a new Charger. I thought I was a man. I bought that orange Charger. I bought a brand new orange Charger. And yeah, my payment was $533 a month, and I couldn't afford it no more. I had to ask my mom and my lady at the time to start covering my car notes until I could get back on my feet.
Gotcha. So that was 2018.
That was 2018.
What did you do to get back on your feet?
I had to get back to the grind, bro. I had to get back to the grind. I'm driving home from a seminar, and I just start crying in the car. I'm like, Lord, how did you get me this far? And I done did this dumb stuff. You know, I was wilding. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna be honest. We could be honest on here, right?
Yeah, that's what this is,
And
man.
look, bro, I was going to the strip club. I was buying ounces of that thing. You know what I mean? I'm smoking all day, playing the game.
Yeah.
You know, this when 2K.
You real comfortable.
I'm chilling. I'm playing the game. I know I got a couple deals closing, or maybe not. A lot of them fell off. Like we had 6 in the pipeline. 4 of them didn't close. 2 of them did. So I was just living off of that little 11 grand. And then that 11 grand ran out real quick when you go into the strip club every day. You buying ounces and you
Eating good.
Eating good. Man, I'm taking women out, eating, whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
You know, and I look up and I'm in this car, I'm in my Charger, bro, just crying. And I'm like, God, like if you could just get me back on my feet, so I won't do it.
You done had a $50,000 a month to being broke real quick.
Negative. All my accounts
Negative.
was red. Yeah.
Negative. So now you went back to doing what got you there. What is that?
Knocking on doors, bro, was my bread and butter. I wasn't that good on the phone starting out. I used to get off on my charm, I feel like if I got face to face with a customer, I felt like she or he wouldn't deny me. You know, so I was real good on the doors. That's what got me those deals. I knock on doors, I set the appointment, they'll come into the office, and me and my mentor will close them on the conference table. You know, and that's how I got my deals. So I went back outside, and man, I printed out a list for like 2 or 3 zip codes. I had like 30 doors to knock on, and I was doing like 10 doors a day, knocking on boom, 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 setting appointment, getting it back. And I had this deal. This lady had a 3-bed, 2-bath house that she wanted to sell in the area called Claremelles, right outside of Tampa.
Okay.
And she gave me a great deal. She let me get it for $71,000. I knew I had a buyer for $95,000. Boom, I was right back.
Were you still splitting it with your mentor?
That deal, I actually found that deal on my own. You know, I was getting a little small. I didn't tell him about that deal.
Yeah.
I didn't tell him about that deal. I did it on my own, used my own name, and no, I didn't split that one with him.
How did you? So you bought it at 71, you sold it at 95. So what did you get to 71,000?
Where'd I get the 71,000?
To buy it, yeah.
Oh, with wholesaling, you don't need money, bro. Right? So if someone agrees to sell you the property for 71,000, and I know the property's worth 100,000,
Yeah.
I don't need money. We got a saying that says, "Boys chase girls, money chases deals." Just as bad as a boy chase a girl, which is the reason why we're all here. Anyway, right? Money chases deals just as bad. If you got a deal, money will find you. Money will find you if you got a deal. So I understood that concept very early.
So it's real what they say about wholesaling.
Yeah, it's 1,000% real.
71,000. You didn't need 71,000.
No, all I need is a contract and an escrow deposit.
Let's talk about wholesaling. So we see it all over the place. You see it. You don't need no money. You don't need no education. You don't need. All you need is to be able to find a deal or the buyer or the buyer, right? Break wholesaling down for me. I'm watching this and I'm like, man, I don't have no money. But
Yeah.
I got a deal. What does that look like?
Wholesaling is the easiest, quickest, and I say safest way to get into real estate, right? Because I don't need the cash if I got a contract. Because you got 30 days to close or whatever you put on I could put 60 days on the contract to close, right? As long as I find the money before the 60 days, then I have a deal. So wholesaling is basically me finding a distressed property or a distressed homeowner, right? Either or could be distressed, the property or the homeowner. Me negotiating a deal that works out for both parties, I contract that deal. Now I have what's called equitable marketable title. And on my agreement, it says that I have the right to market the property. So I go and start.
So hold on. So you signed an agreement. Now you can sell somebody else's property?
Now I can sell somebody else's property. Yeah, correct. So I have the exclusive right to buy this property. They can't go around me. They can't go sell it to somebody else. They are obligated to sell that property to me.
What if they do? I want you to answer that later. Though. What if they sell it to somebody else? But let's keep going down this road because I wanna understand wholesaling, and I want those that are watching and listen to this to really understand that this is real, and you are a living example of building. You've built wealth with this model, right? Mm-hmm. So you put it under contract. Now you can market it, you can sell it, you can do whatever you want to do. Correct. Because you have this contract.
Correct.
Okay.
Right. So now there's a couple of different ways that you can market the property. One, you can do what's called you can build a buyer's list. Mm-hmm. So we used to do what's called ghost ads, and we'll put out a we'll put out an ad that says 3-bed, 2-bath, concrete block house, 2-car garage, and desirable area for only $100,000. Call now if you're interested. Right. So we would get calls and emails from buyers, and we'll just add them to our buyers list. We'll say, that property's not available, but if we have another property in the future, would you be interested in buying? So we built a nice buyers list, and I keep them in a database in my Excel. So anytime I lock up a deal, I would blast it to my buyer database, and if they made a competitive offer, then I would go with that buyer, assign that deal to them, and they would have to pay me an assignment fee.
What do you mean by assigning it?
Okay, so you got 2 contracts when you're dealing with wholesaling. You have a purchase and sales agreement. That's what you use to lock up your seller. We call that the A to B transaction, right? And then you have what's called an assignment agreement. That's what you use to assign your rights in the contract to your end buyer. So every obligation that's on that A to B contract, I assign it to the buyer, and I release myself from liability of that contract. And now the buyer has to close on that property with the assignment contract. And I get what's called an assignment fee.
What if they don't close?
If they don't close, see, I have a little game, right? So the buyer has to inspect the property within 3 days, right? So they have 3 days to tell me if they're gonna move forward with the deal or not, right? So if they don't move forward in 3 days, I take them off a contract. I go and market the property back again.
Gotcha.
Now let's say that they go past the 3 days and they decide that they're not gonna close, right? So what I'll do is, a lot of times, if it's a good deal, which if I lock it up, it's definitely a good deal. I'll use what's called hard money, private money, or I'll use transactional funds, which I can close the deal myself with the funds, and then I can find the buyer later, just so that the seller isn't mad. Gotcha. Because you wait 30 days, you got that property off the market. That seller is expecting to get her or his money at the end of that 30 days. If my buyer doesn't close, they don't know my buyer. They know me. So I'm obligated to, to save face. So if the buyer doesn't close, I'll close, and then I'll continue to market the property and
to
get my assignment fee. Yeah.
So I go out, I find this deal, put it on the contract, use my buyer's list to market it to, and then they say, yes, let's go. I assign them the A to B contract, the original agreement, for a fee.
For a fee.
How much is that fee?
Man, that fee can vary. Nowadays, that fee can start at $15,000 to $20,000 and can go all the way up to $60,000, $70,000. My biggest assignment fee was $55,000. I didn't lift a hammer. I didn't do no drywall, no floors. I didn't even change a lock, bro. I locked it up, assigned it, boom. So you got the buyer's list, right? I know I was gonna tell them a couple different ways. So you got the buyer's list. You can market it on Facebook Marketplace, or you can market it on the MLS.
You can list the property that you don't own?
You can list the property that you don't own. It's called a novation.
Tell me about that.
So Ooh, you want to get saucy.
Oh, we got to get saucy. They got to know why I say you are the man.
All right, so they got what's called a novation agreement.
Okay.
And then in the novation agreement, it tells the seller that I have the right to market the property on MLS. As long as the seller signs it, they agree that, you know, they're giving you the right and the okay to market the property on the MLS with the novation agreement. And I also can not only get a cash buyer on the novation, I can get a FHA buyer. I can get a conventional buyer using the novation agreement.
So you go to this seller. Is the novation agreement different than the purchase and sale agreement? So that's a totally, so you got to still get the purchase and sale agreement, but then you add the novation agreement to the package.
Correct. You add the novation agreement on there because, right, a lot of times when you wholesaling, we have to beat the seller up so bad that, you know, sometimes they might not be happy with that low ball number. So when we're doing the novation agreement, we're able to give the seller a little bit closer to their asking price because we're going to put it on MLS. Okay. Right? Another reason why sellers will go with that novation agreement is because they get MLS exposure without having to pay a real estate commission. We handle the real estate commission, we handle the closing costs, we handle the title company, the transact. We handle everything for them. But with the novation, they get closer to their asking price. Versus if I just do a regular wholesale deal, then, you know, we're lowballing them. We're getting it as low as possible. You know, because the real buyers, the big dogs, and all the cats who got all the money is on MLS. You know, so I can get top dollar on MLS, especially from a conventional buyer or a FHA buyer. Someone who's actually looking to move in the property and live in this property.
You went back to and you telling us how to sell it. You told us the starting process, but how to sell it. You can list it, Facebook, and your buyer's list, right? Once they put it under contract, what's next? So they say, yeah, man, I want it.
Yeah.
I'm going to close it. What's next?
You got to start doing a title search.
Okay.
You know, well, as soon as I get the purchase and sale agreement, before I even start marketing it, I send the purchase and sale agreement to a title company who's wholesale friendly. See, not all title companies will let you use the buyer's funds to close your first transaction. In real life, it's two separate transactions. You know, you can't really sell a deal before you buy it. You get what I'm saying? So there's a lot of title companies who don't do that. You know.
But if you're doing an assignment, you're basically not using their money. You're just getting your fee for putting them together. Is that
right? So you got like two ways you can do it. You can do an assignment, which the seller will know that you're making a fee. So the seller will see that you're making $50,000 on their house. Now, if they feel a certain way about that, they may not sign. They may cause ruckus. They may, you know, go crazy. or you could do a double close.
So that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Can you do it without them knowing?
That's called a double close.
Okay.
Yeah, that's called a double close. So the double close is when I'm doing two separate transactions. And instead of using the assignment agreement, I'm using two purchase agreements.
Okay.
So I'm purchasing the house from the seller with the purchase agreement, and then I turn into the seller on the BC. Now I'm selling the property to the end buyer. So those are two separate transactions. Now the difference is I get two separate HUDs. The first HUD, the HUD is like the receipt of the transaction. You know, you're not gonna buy a car without the receipt. You're not gonna.
I hope
not the groceries. You're gonna look at the grocery list and make sure that she ain't ring you twice.
Yeah.
So same thing when you buy a house. You're not gonna close on the deal until you see the HUD, the settlement statement, the receipt, and it itemizes every fee that's on there. So the seller will see there's no assignment fee because there's no assignment contract when you double closing on that first HUD. So all the seller sees is that I'm wiring $71,000 over to the title company. I'm really buying the property. Now on the back end, I'm selling that property to my end buyer and I'm paying two sets of closing costs.
But you gotta. So now I get with the assignment fee, the buyer is paying for everything. With the double closing, who brings the money for the first closing?
I can use the BC. I can use the buyer's funds to cover the first contract.
What if the seller made you go to an attorney that is not wholesale friendly? Then how do you go from, A to B to B to C?
Well, if a seller wants to use their title company or their closing attorney, typically they have to pay the closing costs. So a lot of times sellers will go with my title company to save them from paying the closing costs. Now you do have the exceptions of people who want to use their title company or their closing attorney and they don't have a problem paying the closing costs. There's still ways around it. Like I said, you can use transactional funding, you can use private money to go ahead and close on that deal and then assign it over. But there's a lot of attorneys who know about the wholesale game, they know about assigning. They want to make sure that they get their fee for closing. Attorneys are greedy people, bro. So they just want to close. They want to get paid. So as long as there's nothing illegal going on or nothing fishy going on, as long as you being transparent with them, then they'll still close the transaction.
Make it happen. Transactional funding, what is that?
Transactional funding is basically I call it like a Band-Aid. Like just something that you use to secure the funds, secure the property, close the deal so that the seller can get paid, and then you will be held responsible for transaction funding fees and payments until you can get it sold on the back end. It's really how to shut the seller up. You know, make sure the seller's happy, make sure the seller gets their money, make sure the deal closes, and then I worry about the back end later. I use transactional funding for that.
How long, so is transactional funding for one day? Is it for 6 months? Is it for what? How long is transactional funding typically?
So transactional funding could be an hour. You know, I can borrow money for an hour, sell the deal, a couple of hours later. If you're dealing with a title company who don't let you assign deals, then transactional funding is real popular to use. I can borrow the money for an hour, pay my little fees, and then go ahead and flip it over to the end buyer. Now, if you're using private money, most private money lenders don't want to go over 12 months. Gotcha. So if you get private money to close this deal, then a lot of times you're gonna have an interest only payment. You got points, and it's expensive, bro. So you really should be trying to get that deal off as soon as possible. And that's kind of what private money does. It makes you get the deal off as soon as possible.
You should.
Yeah, because you don't want to keep paying money to this lender, and it's not going towards the principal. It's just all going in his pocket. So time is money when you're dealing with private money. But it's a way to close the deal, man. It's a tool.
So you've told us how to close them, where to get the money from. But now here's what I would say is the most difficult part of it. Right, and you talked about it earlier when your pipeline dried up, is finding the deals. So the process of wholesaling, like you literally just gave us all the steps. The hardest part of wholesaling is not finding the buyers, because what was that quote you said?
Boys chase girls, money chase deals.
I ain't seen that on a T-shirt yet. So the toughest part is getting sellers to say yes, right? Let's talk about that. How do you find it? Like, what makes you, because, man, when I say you do really great, what makes you so good at finding deals? How do you go pick? Do you just start knocking on every door in the neighborhood? Do you park at the corner and just say, we're going to walk down this block? How do you find deals? How can, if I'm listening to this, I want to go out and find some deals because I want to be able to buy your course.
Yeah. Well, deals are surrounded around problems.
Okay.
Problems is what creates a deal. So we have what's called components to a deal. A deal has 4 components. A deal has a person, a property, a problem, and a solution. So the person and the property, right? The property, like I said earlier, the property could have a problem. Like the roof could be bad. You see a blue tarp on the roof. I go knock on that door, or I skip trace that person. Or it could have boarded up windows, tall grass, anything like that. If the property has a problem, then I'm looking for the homeowner, right? Or the homeowner could have a problem. They could be behind on their taxes. They can be in pre-foreclosure. They could have had a death in the family. They could have had a divorce. And all of these things are on public record when it comes to the person. Divorces is on public record. Pre-foreclosure is on public record. It's a document called list pendants, LISPENDENS. That lets you know that that property's in pre-foreclosure, that homeowner is at least 3 to 4 months behind. That's on public record. You can pull a whole list of list pendants.
Death, on public records. Isn't it?
Death, probate, public records.
Okay.
All of these are problems that happen in everyday life, and that drums up a real estate deal. So my job is to be at the right place at the right time, find the problem, solve the problem, and the person who solves the problem gets the money. So I look for problems on public record on the internet when I'm driving to when I'm driving anywhere. I'm always looking left. I'm looking right. I'm ducking into these neighborhoods, you know. And I just made it a habit to if I'm driving somewhere and I see a neighborhood, I go into the neighborhood and I look for vacant properties. I look for blue tarps on the roof. I look for tall grass, boarded up windows, no curtains, no blinds.
But what if you're not riding around? How do I find? Can I find deals if I ain't riding around and I don't see?
Yeah, basically from public record, right?
Okay.
So you can go on your county public records website. For us, it's Hillsborough County Public Records. So I go on Hillsborough County Public Records. I can pull a divorce list. I can pull a pre-foreclosure list.
From the county records?
From the county records.
Wow.
Yeah, from the county records.
Do you teach this?
Yeah, I teach this.
Like, so when I ask, are you teach? Because you're breaking it down, right, to the
Yes,
simplest
sir.
form.
Yes, sir.
But when did you start teaching this? Because you've been in it now, what?
7 years.
7 years?
Yes, sir.
On the wholesaling side?
Yeah, 7 years.
7 years?
Wholesaling and short sales.
When did you start teaching?
I actually started teaching before I even closed my first deal. My mentor, he wanted me to start teaching people what I was doing when I was setting the appointments. Because setting an appointment was valuable because you have the owner in the office. You get what I'm saying? And then you have someone with 30 years experience right there. And then you have a guy like me who actually built the rapport. They like me. They trust me. You know, I brought them to a decent office. You know what I mean? And so when I set the appointment, it bring me points.
Got you.
It bring me points.
So I don't have to be driving around. I can check public records, right?
Yeah.
So when I check public records, it don't give me their telephone number.
Nah, you got to skip trace them. Right? So look, there's 2 ways, because I found a new way to do it.
Skip tracing?
Recently. No, not skip tracing. 2 ways to find deals.
Okay.
So I call it out the mud, which is the driving around, the pulling from public records.
Okay.
Because these people don't necessarily want to sell their house, or you don't know if they want to sell their house yet.
You just know they got a problem.
I just know they got a problem.
Okay.
And they may want to sell the house, or they may not want, they need to sell their house. See, and that's the difference between a lot of different wholesalers. And, you know, people waste time on the phone and waste time on the doors because they talking to somebody who doesn't need to sell. You talking to somebody who just wants to sell, who wants to see what your offer is. Like, I don't deal with those people. I deal with people who need help, who need my services. Somebody got into a divorce. They stopped making the mortgage payment. The wife, I ain't making the mortgage payment. The husband, I ain't making the mortgage payment. They don't even want to stay in the house because of the memories. They move out, they leave the house right there, and they stop making the mortgage payment. You know, so I solve that problem, I make money.
How do you solve a problem like that?
Man, you basically just kind of got to see what each person wants,
Okay.
you know, from the divorce. So I like to go to the woman first because she is the one who makes the decisions a lot of the time.
Most of the time.
Most of the time. With the divorces, I go to the woman first, talk
Okay.
to her, and see what her number is, and then I'll go back to the husband and let him know I talked to the wife, and just see what he thinks about it. So out the mud, those are finding deals where, you know, they don't necessarily want to sell, but they do have a problem, and you have to see if they want to sell.
Okay.
The second way to find deals now is called PPC leads. It's called pay per click, right? Now, a lot of people is getting deals from the internet because of Google ads and Facebook ads. They're basically running ads saying, hey, you need to sell your house, or you behind on your mortgage payment, you got a divorce, or this and that. We handle your closing costs, no real estate commission, And so they click on that off of Google, or someone types in, I want to sell my house. They boom, an ad, it come up. They click on it. They got to fill out a questionnaire. The questionnaire will basically ask them, why you looking to sell? How much do you want? What's your time frame? Tell me about if the house needs repair. They have to answer, and we make it long. They got to answer like 25 to 30 questions.
And this is your questionnaire.
This is our questionnaire
Okay.
that we built, right? 25, 30 questions. If someone submits a questionnaire, 25, 30 questions, are they motivated to sell?
Yes.
Exactly. So now people are we're getting leads inbound for people who want to sell, motivated to sell, ready to sell. And, you know, your deal flow just basically depends on how much you're willing to spend on the ads. So that's next level. You know, I teach 2 levels. I teach entry level, which is out the mud, the way I learned, driving for dollars, pulling the list, going through the divorces, the probates, the pre-foreclosures. And these people, again, they necessarily don't want to sell, but they got a problem they may need to sell, right? That's out the mud. That's like the freeway. You know, you skip trace them. They got a website called truepeoplesearch.com. You can go on True People Search and you can skip trace as many people as you want and get the phone numbers, right? And then they have different skip.
They give you the phone numbers?
They give you the phone numbers. They give you relatives, possible relatives. They give you email address. TruePeopleSearch.com, bro. They give.
So
you
here's the crazy part, though. Most people scared to pick up the telephone, just like door knocking. That's what separates level A, level 1 to level 10. Because what you did with that door knocking, that's why one reason you've been so successful. Because 99% of people are not going to door knock and door knock consistently for months. Not going to happen. So in your course, do you teach us how to properly door knock?
Correct. We got a script. Right, so a lot of people, they're scared of doing, especially nowadays, like it could get a little dangerous or whatever. Yeah. It's not the same as 15 and 16. You know, it's a little different. So people are scared to door knock. However, if you got a script and you kind of know what to say, then it makes you feel a little bit better. Right. The reason why people don't want to door knock or they don't want to cold call, they don't want to get on the phone is because they don't want to get a question that they can't answer. You know, so I basically give my students, and we role play and we do scripts. And I show you, look, this is what you say to the seller. This is the type of questions you ask. Make sure every time you say something to the seller that you end with a question. You end with a statement. You don't let the seller control the conversation. Basically, it's how the script is designed. You know, so when you door knocking or you cold calling, we have a script that tells you what to say, how to catch their attention in the first 4 seconds. Attention span is, man, come on, you get what I'm saying? Man. Yeah, and that's why I wasn't really good on the phone or didn't really want to do the phone too much, is because, man, she can hang up on me at any time she want to, not feel no type of way about it.
Because she ain't seen you or nothing.
But if I knock on the door and I'm right here face to face, I mean, you got rude people out there, but not that many people is that rude to slam the door on your face while you talking. You know, so I was able to get off a lot of pitches, you know, knocking on doors, you know, to the fact where I start feeling real comfortable. You know, I'm like, okay, I can get on the phone now. Let's play the numbers game. And that's all real estate is, man, for everybody listening. All it is a numbers game. You getting out of your comfort zone. And if you get a yes, that yes can be 10, 15, 20, $50,000. So what they tell me no? A no to me is KNOW. You know what I mean? Now I know something. You know what I mean? They tell me no, now I know something. And then I know it's just a no today, right? I can get a yes tomorrow. I can get a yes, right? I could be knocking on doors or cold calling from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. at night and not get any traction until 7:30 p.m. If I quit at 7:30 p.m., then I miss my deal at 7:47. 7:47, it's a deal right there. So I look at real estate as who got my money. One of these people got my money, whether it's on this list, this divorce list, on these doors, in the streets, vacant property. Somebody has my money. I need to find my money.
Do you still cold call after, being this successful?
It's not called cold calling no more when the pay-per-click leads start coming in. Now I'm just servicing customers. I look at it as servicing customers. You cold calling when the person doesn't necessarily want to sell the property. You know, but if somebody is an inbound lead and they come to my phone, like I got my app and everything, and they all come to my phone.
You got your own app?
No, it's not my app.
Okay. I was saying, whoo. It's all right though. Yeah,
it's a app, right? And all the leads, the pay-per-click leads, and the ads and everything, it comes to my phone and it shows me the seller name, the address, why they want to sell, how much they want, time. It tells me everything about it. So all I gotta do is call the customer and service the customer. You know, they want to offer. So all I gotta do is look and see what's going on, and I make the call.
Is that expensive every month though to run ads? Yeah. Like what's expensive?
I was starting out doing like $500 a month, you know, and a lot of people starting out, you know, just if you ain't closed the deal yet, $500 a month is
a lot of money.
It's crazy for you not to know what's on the other side, right? But that's why I say do it out the mud first.
Okay.
Go ahead and get your feet wet. Go build some of these lists from the free websites. Every county has a public records.
Yes.
Every county. It doesn't matter, right? Every county has list pendants. So you can go out right now and you can pull a list pendants for Fulton, for Decatur, for Cobb, and boom, you got you 100 leads. that you can go out and pitch your script to. And if somebody gives you a yes, that's big time money.
You broke it down in a very short time. What's the name of your course?
On there, the course is called the Mills 10K a Month Blueprint, right? And basically in the blueprint, I got you for 4 weeks. We meet every Tuesday and Thursday. And during that 4 weeks, I go into more than just wholesaling.
Yeah.
You know, I teach wholesaling, I teach short sales, I teach what's called lease options, aka rent to own. And then I started incorporating my Turo course in there. We got 9 cars that we rent out on Turo. So
Congratulations on that, man.
yeah, appreciate that. So I kind of incorporate a couple different things and some funding. You know, I teach them a little bit about funding and everything on that.
You love real estate, but you got Turo.
Yeah.
I remember, I think you bought like a green, was it like a Challenger?
Green Charger.
Charger.
Yeah.
You were driving kind of fast in it one day. So when you do the Turo, because I'm going to get back to real estate, what made you decide to do the Turo business?
Just looking for some more ways to get some passive income. I saw this guy. I don't keep name dropping. I saw this guy named CEO Matty J.
Oh yeah,
And,
he out of Well, he was. I just saw he did something in Dubai, but yeah, he's he's a personality wise. He's amazing.
Yeah,
so.
and a great man of God too. I like that. And Pushman Mitch. I was learning a couple things from them, and they was like, "Yo, you can rent your car out on this app called Turo. It's a platform." You know, so I started with my orange Charger, the one I got in trouble with at 18. I started out with that one. Ended up doing pretty good. You know, I was covering the note, had a couple extra dollars left over, but I didn't have a car because it would stay rented out.
Yeah.
So I'm like, dang, I ain't got no wheels. I need another car. So that kept happening. I just kept getting cars. And next thing you know, I look up, man, we got like 7, 8 cars. And we put them all on the platform, and they was doing really well. And we was taking some of the customers off of Turo and doing what's called private rentals with them. So when they want to come back and they want to rent it again, Turo don't get all the money. You know, we kind of was doing the private rentals too, and we still doing it, man. It's doing really well.
You keep saying we. I gotta know who we is.
Yeah, my fiance. Yeah, me and my fiance Courtney. Yeah.
You're a young man, right? That journey, and we talked a little bit about it before we cut the cameras on. You say fiance. When did you decide that, like, she the one? Was it help building the business? Is it somebody that's helped you elevate? Like, why is she the one?
Man, she got me smiling. You got me smiling too, man. I'm glad you asked that because I don't get a chance to talk about her a lot. Yeah. You know, in 2018 when I was going through my whole thing, and I'm gonna be honest on here, bro. When I was in the strip clubs, you know, I was lost. You know, I was really lost. I was going there every single night. Like, some of my homeboys hit me up, like, just the other day. He was like, Mills, man, I'm glad you're doing that real estate stuff, bro. Man, you was in the strip club every night, bro. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, man. You know, God
definitely got to stay out of Atlanta now.
Man, Tampa bad too, yeah, but yeah, Atlanta's the king. Yeah, Atlanta the crazy. King and queen of it. So I found my fiance in the strip club. And so I guess I was there for a reason. Yeah. You know, and you know, she didn't want to be there. You know, I didn't want to be there, and we found each other there. And she didn't know what I did. We would just kind of hang out and stuff or whatever. She just knew I was a guy who had, you know, a couple coins or whatever. And when I had went broke, she saw it, you know, and she actually was the one who started helping me pay my car note while I was trying to get my deal. And she was paying my car note. Christmas came up. Christmas was coming up, and I wanted to get a gift. I met her during the summertime of 2018, and Christmas was coming up, and she was paying the car note, man. She paying my cell phone bill. You got to think, a guy had 50 grand. I'm making $10,000, $20,000 a month doing my thing in real estate. I go broke, meet this young lady, and she doesn't even know what I do, who I am, and she's offering to help me out during this transitional time in my life. And, you know, she was doing that. Christmas came around, I said, Mom, man, I got to get this. I told my mom, I said, man, this girl, she helping me out. She's solid. You know, I'm like, I got to get her something. Can I please use your credit card to buy something for Christmas? So, Mom, let me use her credit card, buy a little chain or whatever for Christmas. I closed the deal. And I gave her money back, man. Everything that she helped me with, I gave all her money back. And I really was being like, what you call it? Like when you not really trying to get into a relationship and
you were guarded.
Yeah, I was guarded.
Yeah.
I was guarded because of, something that happened previous to that. I ain't gonna shed no light on that. But, I was guarded and I really didn't want to go into another relationship, but she held it down, bro. She would not take no for an answer. She
saw something.
Held it down.
She saw something.
And then she told me she was gonna, leave the club. And I was like, look, don't leave the club thinking I'm finna pay your bills and this and that. Woo, woo. She like, nah, I got it. She said, I want to leave the club because I want you. I said, look, I don't look at you no different because you in the club. She said, I don't care. I'm leaving the club because I want you. Whether you, I'm a hustler, bro.
Yeah.
Anybody that hustle, I don't care how you hustle.
Yeah.
Whether it's legal, illegal, whether you in the club, out the club, street, whatever. I respect hustlers.
Yeah.
So I don't look at nobody different because they choose to hustle a different way or whatever. But she wanted to make the commitment to get out of there and show me how serious she was about really wanting to be with me. And now, today we got a 2-year-old son.
Congratulations on that, man.
We engaged and, we looking to get married. And she's definitely, we've been together 5 years now. And definitely my soulmate. I wasn't looking for it, bro. God really brought it to me and helped me find my wife in a place that they say you can't turn them people into wives.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And has taken you to another level.
I think we took each other to another level,
You know what I'm saying, though, but that energy, her support, and just the energy, because when I see y'all together, y'all will do some videos, man, I'm like, that they all right. You know what I mean? And so you smile, like, because when we talked about it, man, you just, your smile and your energy, because that's the key to it, man. They always talk about, having the right person in being in the right relationship with the right person.
Yeah.
Well, because if not, it's going to take you down. It's either going to take you up or take you down. It ain't no stay still. Not for me and not for most young men. And I always say that, and I see you glowing about her, so the only way is up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and every relationship that I was in before that was toxic, bro. Like, I argue all the time, with my significant other, and with her, bro, man, we go weeks without arguing. Sometimes we'll go a whole month without having a dispute or anything, when in the past, it's just known that, you bump heads with another person.
Both of y'all were toxic.
Yeah, but everybody. And I felt like it was with everybody.
Yeah.
I've never been with somebody who, we don't argue, But the good thing about it is, she shows me how to really, like, not have to win everything. Like, I give her a lot.
Yeah.
Not like as far as material or stuff like that, but I give her, decisions. I don't make decisions for her when we come into a group decision. I'll let her have it. Like, we was discussing where we should have my son's birthday on the 17th.
Mm-hmm.
She was asking what I think, and I told her what I think. And then I had to turn around and ask her what you think. And I said, you know what? Let's just go with what you want to do.
Yeah.
And she reciprocated. She helped me be that person to say, look, everything ain't got to go Chris' way. Everything ain't got to go Mills' way. Mills can give up some leeway and let the other person have it.
That's that true love, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not just with her, like with my friend, my mom. Like, I used to always be the person who has to have it my way.
Mm-hmm.
So with her being the one who always would give up leeway just so the other person could be happy, that helped me do that in business, with my personal relationships, with my parents, stuff like that.
So you've grown tremendously over the past 5 years.
Man, she helped me turn me into a man, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. She really helped turn me into a full grown man. I was just like a boy, a boy with some money,
Yeah.
But now she really turned me into a responsible man who actually, I think before I move now, or I plan 2 years ahead. That's just how I operate now.
You're at a whole nother level.
Whatever you want to call it.
So does she work? Are y'all working together on a daily basis now?
And she's my secret weapon. She nasty, bro. She nasty. So I taught her, basically how to cold call and door knock and everything in 18 and 19. So she knows the short sale game in and out. She could do a whole packet, a whole presentation. She can close the seller. She can do a whole wholesale deal by herself. She can run. She got 3 or 4 cars on Turo too. Those are hers. She runs her, bro. She's a certified serial entrepreneur, bro. She's certified. She has her own skincare line. It's called Miss Natural Skincare, where she's selling no, you use body scrub, sugar scrub, sugar scrub and body butters.
Okay.
You know, so man, she just, bro, she's entrepreneur. She is moving, and she don't take no for an answer. She believes in herself, and you know, she bout that life, bro.
No, I had to ask that, man, because I know that brings a smile to you, and I understand how important it is for growing in this business. Man, we could talk for a long time, man. Yeah. I want to go back to the wholesaling, right? In your course, is it a mentorship or is it an online course?
No, right now it's a mentorship. Okay. You know, I show up. I know there's digital courses out there, and I'm actually in a mentorship myself. Look, if your mentor ain't got a mentor, you got the wrong mentor. Right. So I got a couple mentors, and you know, they teach digital courses. But for right now, I still want to show up on the live calls. The 4-week mentorship, I show up on the calls live Tuesday and Thursdays, and actually be there with the students, answer their questions, and I give them. So
you doing once a month? Or mentorship once a month?
Yeah, like once a month. What I'll do is I'll do a master class, and then I offer the mentorship. Whoever want to jump in that 4 weeks, they jump in, and then whoever wants to get into the next 4 weeks when
How much is it?
Right now I got it at $3,000.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it at
$3,000. Yeah. You teach a lot for $3,000, and you show up for 4 weeks.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm told that it's underpriced, but you know, it's okay.
But you helping people.
That's what it's all about.
I talked to one of your mentees last week. He was at a deal, Daryl. Yeah, Daryl. And I know he's been at it. He's here, I think.
No, he's in Durham, North Carolina.
He's in Durham, but he had a deal in
Georgia.
Atlanta, somewhere in Georgia. Yeah.
It's actually my most successful mentee.
Is it?
It is.
Okay. That shows you how much of an impact you're having, even with your courses, man. So how do we get on the course? How do we find you? You know, tell us how we find you, man, how we can get it signed up in that course. Because what you said today is if people listen to what you said, they can go out and make a ton of money and then come pay for the mentorship.
Yes, sir, for sure. So you can follow me at Real Estate Mills on IG. Click the link in my bio. I actually have a free masterclass coming up. But if you want to get in with my course, you can click the link in the bio and click the Mills 10K a month blueprint and everything that you need to know about real estate, funding, Turo. If you're looking to get into the game, I teach it from A all the way to Z for 4 weeks. You get with me. And also, we add you to a Facebook group. So I keep the recordings in there, and I really let the students, lifetime, I let them have access to it for a lifetime for right now. You know, and they can always go in there and rewatch the videos from the 4 weeks. With all the topics, and it got all the topics from wholesaling to short sales, lease options, Turo, funding, business credit. You know, we talk about a little bit of everything.
And we get to talk to you 2 times a week.
You get to talk to me 2 times a week for 4 weeks. Yeah, and anytime after that, like my students, they have my phone number and they DM me, they call me. Hey man, I got.
You know you gonna get too big for that now.
I know.
You know that's gonna change in a minute because I mean, if you got 500 students,
yeah,
you can't talk to everybody.
I understand.
You know what I mean? But for now,
yeah,
they better get in now while it's 3,000, huh?
Yeah. And I think really the difference with me, man, is I'll be honest, I'm not a millionaire yet. I just had my first $100,000 month in September.
Congratulations, man.
Appreciate that. I had my first $100,000 month in September, so I'm really not a millionaire yet. So I'm keeping it real interactive with how I'm doing my mentorship. Mm-hmm. I understand, you big guys, get too big to where it's just too many people. It's realistically it's impossible to everybody that's in your mentorship have your phone number if you got 300 mentees.
It's tough.
So I got 20 mentees. It's cool because I want them to contact me because I taught them how to find deals. Mm-hmm. When they contact me, if they have a deal and I help them close it, we split it 50-50, just like me and my mentor. So now if they want to close deals on their own and they want 100%, that's cool. But a lot of my mentees, they ask me, hey, what you think about this deal? Can you help me do this? Help me do that? We close the deal together and we split it 50-50. So I don't even really care too much about the mentorship fee. I really care about them actually going out there and producing results of what I'm teaching them so that we can eat together.
I love it. How do we find you again?
If you go on IG, I'm at Real Estate Mills.
At Real Estate Mills.
At Real Estate Mills.
Listen, man, thank you for being on here.
Yes, sir.
This has been a true pleasure, man. I watched you grow, and it's always inspirational to me. You know, I talked to Dana, and me and Dana talked, and I was like, yeah, man, you see some people that do it and then teach it. You're doing it. Yeah. You're at it every single day. And that's an honor to the business, and it's a blessing to us because you may say something that triggers something. I'm like, man, I forgot to do that. That may go make us some money. See, a lot of times people look at it as one way when it go both ways. And we all watch each other. We all be in the same environment. Because we're one circle. And again, you are a blessing to the industry, man. So again, I appreciate you.
Man, thank you. Look, bro, and I want to say something before we get off here, man. Just like being in a circle with you and Dana and you know, I've been watching you for about 5-6 years now. Ever since I've been in real estate, I found you and been watching you, and man, it's like it's crazy because I know where I come from and I know what I've been doing. You know, 2014, 13, 12, and even be sitting here next to you. You know, a real estate entrepreneur, someone who's been in the game for, you know, over 20, 30 years. I want to give your age or whatever. Over 20, 30 years, man, and you a vet in the game. You one of the biggest inspirations to me of, you know, where I can get to, you know, as far as, you know, the level that I can reach in this game. And Dana, man, yo. I've been following her for, you know, probably the same amount of time, about 3-4 years. And when it came to me picking a high ticket mentor, I was always really against like the whole getting a mentor thing until I realized like, yo, getting a mentor is actually, it's the cheat code. Yes. It's the cheat code to success. It's basically, you know, when you go to the amusement park and you can skip a line, it's basically me skipping the line to get on the roller coaster. Yes. I can go ride the ride, boom, like that. Versus everybody who waiting in line, they on YouTube, man. They trying to figure it out. They making mistakes. They losing money. It's like, yo, mentorship is the new cheat code to success. And there's so many, you know, good people out here. Now you got your bad ones, you know, like that. But I really took my time watching Dana, watching you. And I knew when I got in with her, she was going to take me to another level.
Another level.
You know, so I appreciate you. I appreciate her. And I appreciate the work that y'all put in for sure. Thanks for having me.
Well, we got some more work. So, again, thank you, man, for being on here.
Yes, sir, for sure.
Hey, y'all. Thank y'all for watching another episode of Delayed Gratification. I'll see y'all on the next episode.